그래서 이 순사밥도 먹는 거고 내가 다른 거 몰라도 이 사람 보는 눈은 있다는 거 알아?
Hello, all of you must have known about the serial murders in Korea. Precisely in the Hwasun district, and the victims were all women who scared the Korean people. At the time, to the point that the president of Korea intervened to order all the police to be able to catch the culprit. Okay, this time let's look back at the story of how difficult the police uncovered this case, even though it finally took 30 years to catch the real predator. This story began when the detective named Park found the body of a woman in a ditch with a condition of being tied up. And like a rape victim, then Sir immediately collected a number of people who were suspected of being the culprit. But there was no sign of clues, and the next day another female corpse with the same condition was found. Then Park again gathered people who would be interrogated next while at the house. Mrs. Wife told me that there was someone who followed the victim before the murder, but he was someone who autistic named Hwang Ho. Then Mr. Park took him to the office to be interrogated. Yes, his name is autistic person. Asked this the answer. Everywhere Park and his partner a bit irritated, and that's how the souls of the judge that speak. The next day come a help detective from Seoul named Seo. Then Sir and his partners and Seo took the cave to a forest and scared him so that he would talk, otherwise they would bury him alive. Kwon Ho, who was a bit terrified, telling but strangely, he said as if he sees the murder not as the culprit, and Seo realized that Hwang Ho is not the real culprit because Hwang Ho's somewhat deformed hands are impossible to tie the rope of the perfect knot like the one on the victim. But Park and other police members continued to restrict the scene and ignore those facts, and sure, Hwang Ho connect the culprit. They freed him a few days later. A new boss came named Shin. Then they went to the scene of the crime. The first victim here, Park and Seo, are somewhat unswitchable because Park is a detective who moves through instinct and Seo moves logically, rationally, and the facts of Seo documents say all the murders happened in the rain and all the victims are women in Park's red clothes. And Shin are confused because it is known that the victim there are two Seo showing documents that there is one more victim who was missing in the rain last time, but the body has not been found. Then Seo asked two squad of police and promised to find it soon, surely. Seo and several policemen combed an area and found the body once with the same condition and didn't show any clues. The next day, they planned to lure the predator in the rain by using a policewoman named Gui. But the murderer didn't show up. Finally, Gui and Seo took shelter in a small cottage with the guard posted to the schoolgirl while waiting for the rain to stop. With the girls thought about a serial killer who was free to hide in the school toilet, and suddenly appeared in a different place. There was a woman who wanted to deliver an umbrella to her husband and cross a desert street in the rice field area, and sure enough, she became the next victim. When they were confused about this case, Gui said he found a new clue, that in every time there was a murder, there was a person who requested a song on the radio with the title of a letter of grief. Then Seo went directly to the radio office trying to find who requested the song, but the people on the radio didn't know the person because the request letter had been thrown away because there were so many while Park was given input by his wife. to ask for the help of a shaman. Then Sir and Cho performed the ritual ordered by the sea shaman, and if successful, the predator face will appear and on the paper given by the shaman. Within the ritual, Seo come to the place probably saw see the clues around the crime scene. Suddenly come a strange man, pulling out the woman's underwear and appearing to be doing an indecent thing. Seeing this suspicious gesture, Seo and Chu want to arrest him. Seo did the same. Long story short, the man was caught and interrogated. The man told the night he just wanted to do an incident thing in the forest because the reader was different, and at home there were children while his wife was sick. The next day, Seo came to the schoolgirls who took shelter in the rain. At the time, trying to investigate the myth of was said about the school toilet. There was a serial killer. At the time, the girl was in the doctor with evidence and falling out of sports. Seo wow their help treat with a pleasure. Then Seo went to the school toilet. But there was a school doctor who happened to be in the toilet. He explained the myth was just a rumor, and maybe the rumor appeared when in the toilet they hear a cry, and it turned out that it was from a woman who was on the top of hill. And then the CEO approached the woman, but the woman immediately hid into her head like she had experienced some trauma. Then Seo asked Gui to talk to the woman because of a follow the woman in order to easily get the information. Is sure only the woman is willing to talk to the Gui and tell her what has happened to her.
He is the one of the survivor of the serial murder. Gui asked if she saw the face of the murderer. The woman said she did not see his face because it was raining at the time and just looked down afraid of being killed. But the woman said the killer's hand was smooth like the woman. Seo would know it. Check the hand of the freak in the forest who was arrested yesterday. It turned out that his hands were raw, and surely he was not the culprit, but it was his fault. Seo didn't tell the reason to Park and just told to let go of that person. Park was emotionally to Seo, and there was a fight between them. Shin Pun and Cam and was angry. Why they always had dispute at that time? Also, the sound of the radio sounded strong letter of the sadness. And at that time, when it rained, Shin immediately deployed troops toward the vicinity. But all was not there because at that time all the police staff was escorting the demonstration in Seoul. They called not too much the next day. Sure enough to found again the next victim fortunately. Gui, who went directly to the radio office minutes to find out who was the sender of the song, the requests, and contacted Park and Seo. Seo and Park rushed to the address, but no one turned out to be young men who worked in the factory office named Park Hyun Go. Seo and Park took Hyun to the office and checked his hand. And the letter what he sent was sure enough his hand was smooth and the letter was his. But Seo and Park still doubted that he was the culprit because evidence was incomplete. And then the Hyun calmed down like not the real murder. Seo and Park Woo were still in doubt. Remember Huang Hu behavior, why he spoke like that. Seo also realized Huang Hu was a key witness in this case. Seo and Park rushed to Huang Hu. when Huang Hu told some of him like a replace of his mental illness and suddenly running away as Park chases him. Huang Hu is already on the railroad tracks and then hit Park. Park can only lament he can save Huang Hu. Park a little frustrated and he was suggested just get out of this job. And Hyun is finally free because there really is no evidence anymore and the last key witness is gone. But Seo is still watching Hyun and the forensics team and find sperm in the victim's shirt. If the sperm matches this Hyun, it could be strong evidence of catching him. And ending all this, but it took a long time because it had to be sent to America because that year in 1989 Korea was not suspicious while Hyun was under surveillance. Seo fell asleep. Hyun out of surveillance after that murder happened again. This time happened to female student who had been visited by Seo while in school. Seo realized it and rushed to find Hyun-ju when berserk and wanted to kill Hyun. No matter what, lucky he was stopped by Park while bringing his forensic result. The result is so surprising that Hyun is not suitable, but Seo still wants to kill Hyun because he thought there must be a mistake, but was stopped and appraised by Park. Then they let Hyun run away. 17 years passed, and now in 2003, Park decided to get out of the police force. Now has two children, work as a businessman while he is on business trip. He passed the scene of the first murder crime and then went down to looking around the place while that's what he was spoken to by a daughter. The boy said yesterday there was also man here. The young daughter said he saw the old man here also, and she said he remembered what she had done in the past, so he come again here again to remember it. Sir then asked the girl what you see. The girl first said she is just in connect person and the story end. Okay, that's the end of the movie Memories of the Murder. I'll talk until the end of not meeting the culprit in the movie. This is because in 2003, the perpetrator was caught, but in 2019, in October, finally caught the real perpetrator named Lee Jung-jae. If you think of this cat, his face similar to Hyun, the sperm sample is victim also fits all, and he admitted he has also killed not 10 women but 14 and 16 attempted rapes because in Korea, the time of 15 years investigation can be realized because the time has been exceeded 15 years. With its more than 13 years of film, very epic and brilliant. Idea seems to be made the ultimatum that the Koreans keep in mind this case and always try to catch the real culprit of that.